This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Rebecca Dupree. The country's largest primary healthcare provider is appealing to the public for help. St John is aiming to raise $2 million this week to buy more ambulances and life-saving equipment. And local staff say the demand for services has never been greater.
Gearing up for the next call-out. Local St John staff are hoping their work is supported by the public as the organisation tries to raise funds this week. It's all about boosting services so employees and volunteers can get their presence felt locally.
We're raising funds nationally for our ambulance service to support the running of our ambulance services, buying equipment, life-saving equipment for them, and also for purchasing new ambulances.
The Dunedin branch experiences about 40 call-outs a day and up to 20,000 a year. It costs $1 million annually to run one appliance, and the local service has 4. Even a purpose-built stretcher can be as expensive as $15,000, and advanced life support defibrillators are worth about $40,000.
The ambulances need replacing regularly, and they're a big cost nowadays, somewhere up around the $200,000 mark. And so, the more people that give to our annual appeal, the more we're able to replace those in a timely manner.
Demand for services has never been greater, increasing by 6% each year nationwide. In Dunedin, there are 40 full-time ambulance staff and nearly 200 operational and community volunteers. They say having the crucial service available to locals requires support from the community.
Our ambulance service, obviously that's really life-saving, and it's really important that if someone is in need of an ambulance that they can just call up and there is one available, or on its way. With our community programs, it's about supporting our community really, especially within the hospital and our care and caller services.
Almost 500,000 people were treated and transported in ambulances throughout the country last year. St John's aiming to raise $2 million from this annual appeal. Annabelle Dick, 39 Dunedin News.
The Dunedin City Council has lost some money selling its shares in mining, energy and petroleum companies. Council has made an ethical move to divest last year and subsequently sold shares in 4 large international firms. The council received almost $1.2 million for the equities, but that was about $380,000 less than their combined worth. However, if the council had retained those investments, their falling value would have resulted in a loss of about $150,000. Mayor Dave Cull and some other councillors are still happy with the divestment away from unstable industries. Plans to establish a wildlife hospital at Otago Polytechnic are beginning to take shape. Stakeholders from several conservation agencies are working on the proposal, which is being spearheaded by a visiting wildlife veterinarian. And she says it would be of huge benefit to local fauna.
Caring for native critters. For the past 6 weeks, wildlife veterinarian Lisa Argilla's been nursing injured penguins back to health at Otago Polytechnic. The works inspired her plan to establish a specialist wildlife hospital in Dunedin, so injured animals don't need to be sent elsewhere.
All the wildlife hospitals that have dedicated wildlife veterinarians, and there's 3 of them, are based on the North Island. So at the moment, animals that are endangered or vulnerable or threatened, that are injured or sick and needing veterinary care, that might not be able to be dealt with by a local veterinarian, they're all sent to the North Island, which is quite a big stress on the body.
Treatment delays for sick animals can reduce their survival rate. Argilla's hoping that'll encourage interested stakeholders to support the local hospital idea. She's met with staff from several groups, including Orokonui Eco Sanctuary and the Department of Conservation, to gauge support and get feedback.
We just really wanted some input because there's a lot of great experience out there with a lot of people who've running trusts and who know how to do all of those kinds of, business planning type of details. So it was a great meeting.
The proposed hospital would be based at Otago Polytechnic, which has been hosting Argilla for the past 6 weeks. She's confident if the plan goes ahead, the resource will be used frequently to help a raft of species.
The kakapo are a great example. The New Zealand Centre for Conservation Medicine in Auckland look after them, but I have a really good relationship with them, and I've always been able to help them with kakapo work. So I would hope that this hospital would definitely be a place that they would utilise if they needed it. And yeah, obviously the penguins and albatross, and there's a whole lot of common species as well, which just don't benefit from having really, really great veterinary care.
Agila's now shifting her focus from penguins to caring for young kakapo in Invercargill. She'll be there for the next couple of months, during which time plans for the proposed wildlife hospital will be ongoing. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Local police are boosting their efforts to catch petty criminals and calling on the public to help. In recent months, there's been an increase in criminal activity in several suburbs, including Forbury, Opaho and Ravensbourne. Most relates to residential burglaries and thefts. Inspector Calvin Lloyd says much of the reported incidents are believed to have been committed by unsophisticated juveniles. He says parents need to be more diligent in knowing the whereabouts of their children and the origin of any expensive items they bring home. Officers are also taking a tougher stance on people who are knowingly receiving and or passing on stolen goods. An Otago University graduate is back in the city, sharing her lucrative business experience with a group of aspiring entrepreneurs. The chief executive of popular crowdfunding website Pledge Me is keen to see more young women taking management roles, and she's hoping her story helps to reverse a perceived stagnation of professional women in New Zealand.
Browsing at the online empire she built, Pledge Me CEO and self-proclaimed chief bubble blower Anna Gunther's back where she studied, sharing her story with University of Otago students. It's her way of encouraging women in particular to think about following a similar career path.
I think that I have definitely noticed that I'm often the only woman in the room, often the only person not wearing a suit in the room as well. So it's something that I've tried to figure out, actually, how do I just bring more women with me? Like, how do we find and support more women entrepreneurs so they can build their companies, so I don't have to be the only one in the room having the conversations from my perspective.
Gunther started Pledge Me while she was completing her master's degree and balancing full-time work. She says she was unaware at the time of the challenges females can face in tech-based fields. It was after she delivered a speech on feminism that she realised the existing issues.
It's really sad because New Zealand is historically so progressive on women's rights. You know, everything from the right to vote to head of state to all the other things that we've done really well, and it seems like we've just stopped. It's like people don't realize that there's still problems because they're not as visible. So yeah, we are falling behind.
Statistics like the declining number of senior executive women in New Zealand are one reason Gunther's keen to diversify the Pledge Me board. The company actively shoulder-tapped several women for their latest advertised position.
We did make a really compelling story of why we wanted women to apply. It involved talking about Beyonce, who run the world, not girls. But yeah, we really talked about how we wanted more women on the board, because at that time it was only me.
Over 100 people applied for the position, of which half were women, including 3 dames. The role ended up going to one of the female applicants. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, a local man makes the finals of the National Book Awards, and the University of Otago lifts the lid on millions of dollars worth of funding.
Far too much stock. Alex Campbell Menswear, South Dunedin. Don't let me bore you, but it's rock bottom. Jeans, $40. Casual pants from only $20. Shorts from $30. Hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds of shirts at rock bottom prices. From $20. And knitwear from $50. That's rock bottom.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
It's rock bottom.
Garrador Dunedin, delivering quality stylish garage doors in Dunedin for over 15 years. New doors, replacement doors, repairs and maintenance are all part of Garrador's quality service. Garrador Dunedin offers a full range of modern quality doors to suit any home. Come visit the team at 553 Kaikoai Valley Road. Visit www.garrador.co.nz or call us on 488 5676.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz. For professional, reliable and approachable service where your dream kitchen design can become an affordable reality, contact the team at Kitchens for Less. Call 455 9973 or visit us online.
On m'a demandé de gazeter sur la pointure des pieds maintenant. Oui, tu vas voir Marjolaine et d'accord, ok.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Mobility scooters Otago's. Mobility scooters, new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers. Free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 Canudwood Street, opposite Westpac.
Ecrotech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Tune in on Thursday for Motorsport Night on Dunedin Television.
Welcome back. It's becoming more common for businesses to invest in research and development, leading to gains through innovation. Statistics New Zealand has just released the latest data on the topic, showing about half of all companies are spending money on developing better goods and services. The government is welcoming the figures, happy more firms are taking a leadership approach to product enhancement. Research and development is seen as an effective way to diversify and strengthen the economy. Associated spending rose by almost $200 million last year to $1.4 billion. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. The NZX 50 has closed the day up 21 points. It's now at 6,755. The FTSE is up 70 points. And to the exchange rates, the Kiwi dollar is down against the Australian and the yen, but we are up against the greenback, the pound and the euro. A local poet has been named as a finalist in this year's National Book Awards. David Eggleton is one of 4 writers shortlisted in the poetry category, and he's here to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening.
What work have you been recognised for?
The book is a collection of new poems published by Otago University Press. It's called The Conch Trumpet, and it came out in 2015, so it's up for the 2016 awards.
Have you been a finalist in this category before?
No, this is the first time.
How significant is this accolade to you?
Well, it's great. I mean, it really puts your name on the map, and it's sort of yet recognition throughout New Zealand. The competition was pretty tough, so I'm glad to be one of the 4 finalists.
What inspired the work that you've entered?
Lots of things. I think living in Dunedin, poems about Dunedin, poems about the South Island landscape, also about Canterbury and Christchurch during the earthquakes, and also poems about Pacific, living in the South Pacific. This being part of the South Pacific and so forth. So, yeah, my poems sort of cover all those kinds of areas, yeah.
How hard is it to make a living as a writer in Dunedin?
Well, pretty hard, as you'd imagine. In fact, I actually work as an editor for Otago University Press as a full-time job, editing various things for other people as well, sort of freelance. So yeah, it's quite difficult, but I've sort of cobbled together a living at being a writer over the past few years, yeah.
Is our UNESCO City of Literature status making a difference?
Definitely, yeah. I think it's very important that New Zealand be part of this network, along with Edinburgh and Prague and Melbourne and places like that. It's sort of it gives us sort of global recognition, and we become part of a whole network of places that are recognised in literature. And I think this is the only New Zealand city that's a UNESCO City of Literature, so it's really great for Dunedin. Yeah.
What is the most challenging aspect of creating a poem?
For me at the moment, I would say time, for finding the time to actually, amongst all the many diversions and things that are going on in modern contemporary times, are just finding the actual time to sit down quietly and write a poem. I've got lots of notes, but I've got to turn them into actual poems.
Are there many young writers coming through locally?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a really healthy scene for young writers coming through in all kinds of different genres, from rap to fantasy fiction to poetry. So yeah, it's great.
What is your ultimate goal?
Well, just to keep on writing, really. I'm sort of in a good space with writing, and I enjoy opportunities I have at the moment to tackle all kinds of different sort of experiments and challenges in writing. So it's just something I'll keep doing, I think. Yeah, sort of, feel like I was born to write, and I'm actually doing it, so it's great.
Oh, that's excellent. Whose poetry do you admire?
Well, in Dunedin, the poet laureates we've had here, like Cilla McQueen and Brian Turner. Before them, James K. Baxter and Hone Tūwhare, really great poets. So yeah, we've got a great tradition. Charles Brash, who set up the Robbie Burns Fellowship at the Otago University, is another great poet. So yeah, there's a great tradition here.
Well, good luck in the finals, and thanks very much for your time, David Eggleton, poet. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
After the break on 39 Dunedin News, a shiny trophy entices more kids onto the rugby field, and we'll find out a little more about an in-depth study of Otago Harbour.
Sir Bob Charles, New Zealand's greatest golfer and still going strong.
I'm sure that Sportsville was a contributing factor to my success, and I'll continue to use it.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville, a product so good he puts his name to it.
Well, I believe Sportsville helps maintain your quality of life.
Now being used by active men and women globally to support strength and mobility.
It works for me.
Sir Bob Charles Sportsville in the new all-black pack. Call now for the Sportsville special, 0800 502 402.
Ecro Tech Limited have been supplying beekeeping equipment and honey products in New Zealand for over 100 years. A specialist manufacturer of hiveware and plastic products for the beekeeping industry. They are the leading supplier of beekeeping equipment nationwide. For all your beekeeping needs, visit ecrotech.co.nz or call 0800 117766.
Ready Lawn has the perfect solution for all those lawn woes. Call Ready Lawn today on 486 1819.
Mobility scooters Otago's. Mobility scooters, new and used, electric manual wheelchairs, strollers and walkers. Free home demonstration and delivery. Call Tony on 03 455 2875 or visit our showroom, 211 Canudwood Street, opposite Westpac.
New Zealand Beeswax Limited are the quintessential beeswax, woodware and beekeeping suppliers. From the amateur beekeeper to the commercial operator, New Zealand Beeswax Limited has the quantity to meet your needs. For great prices, great service New Zealand-wide, contact New Zealand Beeswax Limited on 03 693 9189 or visit www.beeswax.co.nz.
Far too much stock. Alex Campbell Menswear, South Dunedin. Don't let me bore you, but it's rock bottom. Jeans, $40. Casual pants from only $20. Shorts from $30. Hundreds of them. Hundreds and hundreds of shirts at rock bottom prices. from $20 and knitwear from $50. That's rock bottom.
Every reason, every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
That's rock bottom.
Here's something else to look forward to sinking your teeth into every weekend with the Otago Daily Times. The Weekend Mix, your guide to what's hot in fashion, entertainment, food and more. New weekend magazine in your ODT. Pick up your copy this Saturday.
It's generally not a job that we can't get a door out and in a day.
It's important to make sure you get a good design because you're going to be in it for the rest of your life.
There's no schemes that are wrong when it's a personal choice thing, but some do look better than others.
Welcome back. A pool of more than $3 million in scientific research funding has just been opened up by the University of Otago. The contestable fund is open to researchers throughout the country. It's for the National Science Challenge around ageing, which is being led by the university. Several science challenges have been launched by the government, which is allocating millions of dollars to each project. The Ageing Well collaboration is aimed at ensuring the country is able to deal with an increasingly elderly population and its associated problems. Priority is being given to research around the plight of Maori and Pacific people. Local high school pupils have been getting a close look at the Rugby World Cup. The trophy is travelling around schools up and down the country as part of a bid to entice more youth into sport, and it's already got the city's students raring to get on the field.
Posing with New Zealand's pride and joy, the Rugby World Cup stopped off at King's High School today as part of a secondary tour. It's aimed at getting youth engaged with the country's most popular sport.
Just to bring the cup all around the schools around New Zealand and try and get more people involved in rugby and just provide a bit of input around the trophy and what it sort of symbolises.
New Zealand rugby representatives have taken the trophy to 4 schools around the city with staff from local unions. They're also wanting to further educate students about the sport, and some stories of games gone by had audiences enthralled.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool opportunity, eh? Not every day you get to see the Rugby World Cup. Only comes around every 4 years.
Yeah, kind of feel part of the All Blacks team, getting the trophy down here motivates me to maybe get up to that higher level one day.
Computers were at hand for pupils to register for school rugby teams if they felt inspired. As the rugby season begins, local organisations are encouraging more young people to get involved.
I reckon definitely the cup being in Dunedin will definitely help boost the intake of rugby players in Dunedin, so it'll be good to see.
King's High School is one of 75 on the cup route, with the trophy heading south tomorrow. Annabelle Dick, 39, Dunedin News.
Otago Harbour is the focus of an in-depth 3-part series of reports by a local journalist. Shane Gilchrist of the Otago Daily Times has been talking to a variety of people who rely on the harbour for a wide range of lifestyles, commercial operations and pursuits. And he joins us to talk about it. Good evening.
Good evening, Rebecca.
What was your aim with this work?
I came back from holiday at the start of the year and I live up Balnowes, which looks right where I live, looks right down the harbour, and it occurred to me that we do a lot of news stories on operations on the harbour, but have we ever actually looked in depth at the harbour and sort of celebrate it? And sort of, it's the reason we're all here. But it's trying to look below the surface, I guess, excuse the pun.
Tell us about the diversity of the people who interact with the harbour.
Well, it's amazingly diverse if you think about it. I mean, it goes back to the very foundations of when people came here. It goes back to 1250, I think, maybe 1300. When Maori came here, I think they came, excuse me if I'm wrong here, but I think they came inland first, but then discovered this ripe bounty of food on the coast. Therefore, they've been living here ever since. Europeans then came.
How important is the harbour to the city?
How would you put it? It's essential. It's the reason the city exists. It's the reason we're all here. From, as I say, from Maori to European. The port operation, I think, employs 300 people. We could get into that a little bit more, but there are so many industries that are supported by the harbour and support activities on the harbour. Tourism is an obvious one.
What's been the most interesting or surprising thing you've discovered in this series?
Possibly how little I actually knew about the harbour before I started embarking on it. But one interesting thing I found today, and this is no slight, but Otago Regional Council doesn't actually have a specific harbour water quality monitoring program. It does have an overview of that through various resource consent processes that occur. So it has information available to it via third-party sources, but it doesn't specifically target the harbour as a study set, I guess you could say.
Well, that is interesting. We can read all about that in the next one, can we?
Yes, indeed. The third one sort of aims to look to the future. The first one was trying to bring people up to speed with where we got to with the harbour, how we got here. Second one was celebrating all the people who use the harbour. Third one is looking to the future and weighing up the various tensions, I guess, that exist as well.
Shane Gilchrist from the Otago Daily Times, thanks very much for your time.
Oh, you're welcome.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Local St John's staff are seeing more demand than ever for their services as the organisation aims to raise millions in this week's appeal. A visiting veterinarian is planning to establish the South Island's only wildlife hospital in Dunedin with support from local agencies. And the CEO of Pledge Me has been inspiring young business entrepreneurs at the university, hoping to see more women in management roles. It's time now to take a look at what's going to be on the pages of Friday's Otago Daily Times, and Barry Stewart is back with us. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca. Swimming and sports medicine legend Dave Gerard is leaving Dunedin for Auckland. He's retiring, so that's it's a sad blow for many avenues in Dunedin, like sports teams, etc. Anyway, Natural History New Zealand is another good news story for them. They're about to sign some lucrative contracts with China, co-production deals. We'll have more on Dave Gerard in the sports lift out tomorrow, so a big double-page feature on Dave and his career, and we also feature the Otago Rally, which starts tomorrow, and Highlanders team's named to play the Reds.
That's all in tomorrow's paper. It's going to break my letterbox, Barry. Thank you. That's tomorrow's ODT. Time now for local weather.
This weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorns Sportsville.
Here is today's city view. It's taken of the newly planted beds at Queen's Gardens. And around the city at 3 o'clock today, 20 degrees in the central city, 19 for the Gardens and 21 for the Tyree. The situation and a trough of low pressure will move over the country tonight and tomorrow. It's followed by sou'westers, and an anticyclone will spread across the country at the weekend. Well, to the forecast for the main towns in the lower South Island for tomorrow. Westerlies with some cloud for Invercargill, Gilgore and Tiano. A fine day awaits Alexandra with a high of 15. And a fine day also for Queenstown, Oamaru, Wanaka and Twizel. Just some light winds, about 14 or 15 degrees. And Dunedin tonight, showers clearing with an overnight low of 9. We haven't quite had those showers yet, so we are still waiting. Tomorrow, cloudy at first, but becoming fine with sunny periods increasing during the day. Sou'westers will die out later on, 14 degrees. And on Saturday, mostly fine and sunny with light nor'easters and a high of 15. And to the Otago Pallet Fires tidal and fishing information. Low tide tomorrow morning is at 3 minutes to 11. High tide follows at 29 to 5. And there is no improvement to fishing conditions. And that's all from the team here at 39 Dunedin News for Thursday. We'll see you again tomorrow. Good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear. supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.